and I got so excited to do this vlog. What word am I looking for? It's not eventful. Drama. It's drama. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome to my channel. I'm happy to have you. I'm not gonna lie, I was not super excited to film this video at first. I got a request for it and I thought there's not really anything fun about filming a Netflix series vlog. But then you guys, I started writing down my list and I got so excited to do this vlog. I am pumped to share my lineup of shows for you guys. I even threw in some from Hulu as well, even though this video was supposed to be Netflix. This is a quality list. I'm pretty pumped. So if you watched my 55 things to do when you're at home bored during quarantine, you will see that I put this as a suggestion. So let's go. First up on my list is Shameless. If you haven't seen Shameless, I don't know why you have a Netflix account, because it is the funniest show I've ever seen in my entire life. It is so raunchy, but it is so funny. Basically, the plot is a low-income family living in, I think, Chicago, and the dad's an alcoholic, which sounds like it's not funny, but it's hilarious. It's my favorite funny show of all time. If you're looking for something that you can binge watch that's going to make you practically pee your pants every time you watch it, Shameless is. Next up on my list, I have Dexter. This one takes a little bit to get into. You really have to want to watch the show in order to start liking it. But I binge watched this show for weeks on end, and I'm actually about to restart it because I watched it a couple years back. Without ruining anything for you, it's basically a blood splatter analyst who kills murderers, but he only kills bad people, so it's like pretty cool. And it's intense. It gets intense. It's pretty crazy. It's up there, probably my top 5 shows I've ever watched as well. Number 3 on my list is The Walking Dead. I will say that I think that the last couple of seasons kind of slowed down a little bit, but the first like 8 or 9 seasons were really good. I would have to give it a little bit before I go back and rewatch it, just because this series has been dragged out over so many years. But it's definitely binge worthy. It's about a zombie apocalypse. However, it's one of those shows that you just get so drawn into the characters and you really like love it. Number 4 on my list, I have Criminal Minds. This one's a hard one because if you're not really into crimes or crime shows, then this one won't be fun for you, but I'm obsessed with true crime. And even though this technically isn't true crime, it's just really interesting and I like to see how the crime shows play out. Basically, it's the behavioral analysis unit of the FBI and they solve crimes and catch people, so pretty cool. Most of them are murderers, but everybody likes a good murder show. So number 5 on the list, I have You. So good. My boyfriend finally got me to watch that show and I binge watched it, loved it. It's basically about a stalker, but the crazy thing is I feel like you almost love him, which is just wild. I've also been told I look like Love, which is strange, but anyways, my only negative about that show is that there's only 2 seasons out and the next one doesn't come out for a while, so if you're wanting something that you can sit and watch for a long time, that one's probably not your best choice. Next up, I have Vampire Diaries. I've only watched 2 seasons of Vampire Diaries and I actually went back and I'm about to restart it. I say that I'm rewatching all these series because they're all so good, but Vampire Diaries, if you liked Twilight, which I did, you would really like Vampire Diaries. It's about 2 brothers that are vampires and they're living a normal life, basically boy meets girl type thing. My aunt actually had to quit watching it because she said that it was messing with her mental health. Like, she got so invested in the characters and was just getting like really upset during episodes, and it was like emotionally like distressing. But don't let that stop you from watching it because it really is so good. Next up on my list is Breaking Bad. You hate to see it. I was not excited about this show when I first started watching it. It took me probably 3 or 4 episodes before I finally got into watching it and wanted to binge it. But I'm pretty sure I finished that series fast. It's basically a guy who gets cancer and he's trying to provide for his family, so he starts making meth and selling it. It sounds bad, but like the plot is so much bigger and it's crazy. It has so many twists and turns and it's very intense. It keeps you on your toes. I feel like every episode something new happens and you're just like, what? It's one of those shows that leaves you wanting to watch the next episode right after. Like, you can't take a day and not watch an episode. Number 8 on my list is 13 Reasons Why. This one is kind of controversial. I feel like people either love or hate it, but I did really enjoy it because I do have anxiety and I've struggled with mental health, and so it was very eye-opening to me and I really appreciated the in-depthness that they went into mental health in that. But I do know that some people weren't letting their kids watch it because it is intense and graphic, so it's definitely not one that you want to take slightly when you're watching. This is one that's gonna like make you cry and not make you feel good, or like, I don't know, but it definitely has twists and turns as well, and it's crazy. The stuff that happens in it is absolutely nuts, and I definitely recommend it. It's basically just about a girl who kills herself, and she leaves behind all these tapes, and each tape is basically addressed to a person, and she tells them why that they were a reason she killed herself. It's so deep, and it really makes you look at how you're treating people. I definitely didn't think I was gonna like that show when I first started watching it, and I really fell in love with it. I just wish that there was more seasons, like I said with you. So that's not really a binge one, because you're just gonna have to watch like the 2 seasons and be over it. The next one on my list is Stranger Things. If you don't like sci-fi, then just X this off your list. It was really hard for me to follow, but it's very interesting. It's a pretty cool series to watch. I don't think I appreciated this series enough when I first started watching it, because I didn't really pay attention, and so I got kind of confused, and that's what kind of did it for me. But when I watched it, I still loved watching it, even without really understanding what was going on. So I'm still gonna put it on the list. I can't even really describe to you what it is, because it's kind of confusing. It's basically like all these kids start disappearing, and all this weird stuff happens in this town, and people are like losing their marbles, and it's like all this weird sci-fi stuff's going on. It's really good though. I did enjoy it. I will probably rewatch that at some point when I can give it some attention. It's not one of those shows you want to just be in and out of watching or listening to. Like, you have to pay attention. Next on my list is Santa Clarita Diet. This show is so funny. When you look up the title, you're thinking to yourself, why would I ever watch this? This does not look like a good series. This looks so stupid. It is so funny. It's about a mom who basically, she's not a zombie, but she starts having to eat people to live. And I'm trying to think who the actress is. Is it Drew Barrymore? There's only a couple seasons of that one, but it's good. You guys should watch that one. Next on my list, I have The 100. This is an extremely underrated TV show, and I don't know why, because it is incredible. I would honestly put that probably in my top 5 of TV shows I've watched, and I can't really explain why I loved it so much. It's just so good. The content is good. I felt like it was very creative. It almost has like Lost vibes, if you ever watched Lost. Basically, it's all these people lived in space, and they had to get rid of people because they were like overpopulating up there, and they couldn't keep the amount of people that they had on their ship. Bear with me, I know this sounds stupid. So they put out all these teenagers on Earth to see if they could survive, because they haven't went down to Earth in so long, and it's only troubled people that have been in trouble on the ship, and they sent them down. It is nuts. Me and my dad binge watched this one, and I'm for sure 100% gonna restart it, because it is so good. Basically, they're learning to survive on Earth, and it's pretty nuts. I'm telling you guys not to sleep on that show. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely go watch it, because... So next on my Netflix one is Riverdale. I have not watched Riverdale, so I can't really attest as to why I like Riverdale, but everyone I know has watched Riverdale, and that's why I haven't watched it, which sounds insane, but it's because the people I was around was watching it. It ruined it for me, so I already kind of know what happens. I probably still at some point will go back and watch it, but I just needed to kind of forget what I had seen that ruined the rest of the series for me, if that makes sense. I feel like Riverdale deserves a place on this list, because everyone that I've ever talked to that's seen Riverdale loves Riverdale. Next up is Ozark. I haven't seen Ozark, but I keep seeing people are obsessed with it. My mom already finished the whole series. I watched the preview for it actually today, and I guess it's about a guy who's, I'm assuming, in the drug business to provide for his family. It looks like it has some pretty crazy twists and turns. It's definitely an eventful series. I can tell before I even start watching it. And I love that lead actor's name, and I can't think what his name is, but he's in it, and it looks really good, so I'm excited to start that one. And if you guys have seen some of these that I haven't, let me know what you guys think of them in the comments, because I need to know which one I should start first. Next on my list is Money Heist. I also haven't seen this, but everybody has been talking about this show. I kind of watched a preview for it today, but I don't exactly understand the whole plot, but it looks like it would be really good, and people seem to obsess over that show, so I definitely want to give it a shot. Next on my list is Lucifer. I haven't seen Lucifer, but I have seen the preview for Lucifer, and he is so hot. He's apparently the devil in this show, but he also owns a nightclub. When I said it out loud, it didn't make as much sense as when I watched it on the preview. Anyways, no, though, it looks good. I don't know what that actor's name is, but he can like get it. He is so cute. And if that's not enough of a reason to watch that series, I don't even know what will be, because I want to watch it just so I can see him on my screen. So my last one for Netflix, which I have seen, I'm saving it for last because it's a really good one, is How to Get Away with Murder. Sister, I can't even explain my love for that show to you guys. It is so good. It keeps you going and just twists and turn and twists and turn. And I will say probably out of all of these series, I feel like it is the one that surprises you the most or has the most like moments. You know what I mean? Basically every single episode you're gonna be like, no freaking way. I'm waiting to actually watch the newest season of that to come out, but I'm pumped. I cannot wait. You guys, it's so good. Basically, it's a lawyer. She teaches at a university and she teaches a class called How to Get Away with Murder. You can already tell that it's gonna be good, right? Crazy shit starts happening. People die. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It is so good. That's probably my top 2. That's a brave thing to say, but it's probably my top 2. I love that show so much. I will just tell you that it is probably the craziest show I've ever seen. It keeps you on your toes the entire time. So that's actually the end of my Netflix ones, but I have some really good Hulu ones, so don't leave the video. First up on the list, and probably tied for first place, is Power. This is another one that if you just like a series that is all over the place, this is it. I have so much love for this series, it's insane. Basically, he is a drug dealer, but he also owns a nightclub. He's a very successful businessman, and he lives this like second life of being a drug dealer. He gets involved with an FBI agent. I don't want to say too much and ruin it. I love her. She's my favorite character. Him and his friend get into some pretty crazy stuff. This is a dramatic series. It's so entertaining because so much stuff happens. So good. Next up is a classic, and if you haven't seen this show, I don't even know what you're doing. This is probably my favorite series of all time. It's One Tree Hill. That show is so good. So good. If you read the description, it basically says like 2 brothers who play basketball together, which kind of is what it's about, but it's about like teen love and friendship and death. I love that show. I felt every emotion with that show, and it is for sure my favorite. There's not a show that has compared to that show for me, I don't think. Definitely watch it. Another one that the main character is hot, and I forgot to mention in Power, the main character in Power is, yeah, does it for me. Next up on my list, you guys already know if you watched my last vlog about a day in my life of quarantine that I've been watching Jersey Shore again. I feel like I'm reliving my teenage years when I watch this show. Not as in things I did when I was a teenager, but just because I watched it when I was a teenager. Everybody loves a good reality TV show. It's pretty freaking funny if you ask me. I don't know how people feel about it, but all it is people just getting drunk and doing stupid stuff, which is so funny to me. I never get sick of Jersey Shore. I think this is like my 4th time watching it. I'm not even kidding. I rewatched it when I lived in Florida for a while too, and that's up there on comedies for sure. Next up on my list for Hulu, I have Prison Break. I love this show. I've watched this twice too, and it doesn't get old. There was actually one point where it used to be on Netflix, and they took it off Netflix, and I couldn't find it anywhere, so I bought it. The whole thing. The brother gets put into prison. I think it was for something he didn't do, but I can't even remember. So the other brother gets himself put in prison to break his brother out. It is up there for my favorite series, probably like top 5 for me for sure. I've gotten just about everybody I know hooked on that series, so you should try it. So that is my complete list of my recommendations for you to binge watch. I love you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have watched any of these and you agree, please let me know which ones you've seen / which ones are your favorites. And if you do end up watching one of these because of this video, let me know what you think. I'm dying to get you guys hooked on some new series this quarantine. Don't forget to subscribe to your girl. You come here every week and watch my videos. I don't know what's holding you back. We all have a little bit of commitment issues, but this is a good thing to commit to. Once again, I love you guys so much. And make sure you tune in because Sunday I'm dropping a pretty interesting / highly recommended video, and it is going to take a lot of time and effort to put together, so make sure you give it some love.